You've got 3 guys on your crew. You 1099 them. Life is good until one of them gets hurt on the job, tries to file for unemployment, or the IRS comes knocking. And then a $50,000 mistake can become a $150,000 problem. My name is Artem. I'm a CPA, managing partner here at Torrent Accounting. We work and specialize in the construction industry and anything adjacent to it. We also love Olympic weightlifting. You're gonna love my form. It's horrible. Here it is. So today we're gonna be discussing 1099 versus W-2, everyone's favorite topic. The crew classification mistake that can cost the contractor $50,000. So the issue is misclassification isn't just doing something incorrectly. It can hit you back with back payroll taxes, penalties, interest, and possible back wages and penalties on top of that. So let's start off with the contractors in the construction industry. Why do we love the 1099s and why it's a trap? I mean, it's easy to start it off. So you hire a guy, you talk to him, they're like, yeah, man, I want to be a 1099. For you, it's easy, right? There's no payroll taxes, no benefits, no PTO, no employee compliance handling issue. So you think life is good. Why would I ever put anybody as on payroll as a W-2? Well, that's what we'll be discussing today. So it feels like a no-brainer, but it really isn't. The IRS and the Department of Labor, they do not care what your contract says or what the guys have agreed to. What they really care about is the reality of the relationship that you have between you as the company or the owner of the company and the employees or the subcontractors that you hire. And you know, like one workers' comp claim on a job can blow the whole thing wide open. And so we're really big on getting this correct. We're big on getting everything correct. That's why you should come and talk to us. You've never had a CPA like us before. You're gonna love us, I promise you. Or just come and watch our videos, whatever you want to do. So how do you really decide what is the appropriate relationship, whether somebody should be a 1099 and a subcontractor for contract services, or if they should be on payroll? The IRS is a real test. It's a 3-part test: behavioral, financial, and relationship based. So behavioral is, do you tell you guys when to show up, where to go, and how to do the work? If you've answered yes to that, then that's an employee. I hate to break it to you. Financial, do they have their own business? Do they have their own LLC? Do they have their own EIN you're paying them under? Do they have their own liability insurance, their own tools, their own vehicles? Do they have other clients besides you? Or do they only work for you and it's substantially an employee relationship instead of a 1099? And then are they ongoing and full-time on your crew? That would be an employee. If it's project-based with a real defined scope, it could possibly be a true sub. So the easiest example is let's say you're GC and you have a framing crew, and the framing crew are your guys and they only work for you. They show up to the projects that you sell and where you want them to go. You set their schedule, you provide the tools, maybe even trucks. That would highly likely be an employee at your GC business. Now, let's say you don't have electricians or a plumbing license and you're subbing all that out truly. So you have your sub, you call the plumber, you tell them what needs to be done at what house, and then they get it done according to their schedule, their availability. They have their own tools, they have their own company. Doesn't mean they have employees, it can be a one-man shop, but like he's got his own company and he just does the job when he's available and provides the service that you're asking him to provide. That would be a true sub. So that's the easy part of the relationship. If it was a true sub, you're gonna tell them what needs to be done, they're gonna come and do it, and that's it. When it's an employee, you set their hours, their relationship, you control them, you tell them what to do, how to get their job done. That would be a true employee. The relationship test that we've covered, the behavioral, financial, and relationship, that's like the easiest test as far as like how they look at it. So if you're failing that test, like just get your guys on W-2s, on employees, stop paying them as a 1099. Many states, we come from the great state of Wyoming, Jackson Hole. It's beautiful. If you've never been, come visit, come stop and say hello. But a lot of states, I won't name them, but they're even stricter than this. They go under the ABC test, which is way stricter than the 3-part test we just covered. And so how to get this right going forward, if you haven't been doing it correctly. Our advice always is correct the issue now. Be proactive about it. Things go way better proactively than after you get a notice. After you get a notice, any leniency typically with the IRS is limited. So anyone on your crew that should be W-2, just make them a W-2 and full stop right there. Don't debate it anymore. Don't wait till next year, just transition it now. set up payroll. If you're an S Corp and a GC, you should have payroll set up anyway for yourself, but get them on payroll, start paying them correctly, and you can fix the back ends if you want to. True 1099 subs, so they're gonna have their own LLC, like I mentioned, they're gonna have their own insurance and license, tools, crew, and they will have other customers. You don't have to verify other customers. Hopefully you know they have other customers because they're successful and you want them working on your project, but that's neither here nor there. And so what you want to do is on every sub, ideally before the job starts, but at the most, like make sure before you pay them, is you get a W-9 from them that it's filled out. You get a certificate of their insurance and a copy of their license. Every time, no exceptions. When you get that stuff, especially the W-9, you want to save it, ideally digitally, so you don't have to try to figure out how to scan it when it comes tax time. So that when your great CPAs like us email you in January and asking you if you need to issue any 1099s, or they're telling you you need to issue 1099s to these people, we need their W-9, all you have to do is just forward that information. Now imagine you didn't get the W-9 at the beginning of the relationship. They came in, got the job done, they're gone, you've paid them. Now you have to go back to them and get a W-9 from them. It's always more difficult, it's a huge pain. It's the rule, you have to issue them by January 31 of the following year in order to get that expense. That is correct, you heard me right. So if you have someone that was a subcontractor for you, they perform services, they don't meet any exceptions, and you're required to issue them a 1099, and you don't, or you don't have the information to issue that to them, in theory, you're not eligible to take that expense with the IRS. So it's kind of a crazy situation, but if you don't issue a 1099, then you might not be able to take that expense, even though you paid them, and it's a valid and ordinary business expense. 1099s are incredibly important. Get the W-9 and get this thing going right from the get-go. If you've been doing it wrong, don't panic. You can fix it. Talk to your CPA, talk to us. We'll walk you through the steps, help you correct the 1099 stuff from years past. Just as you can help me correct my weightlifting form. Here's the video. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. See you on the next one. Drop us a comment and tell us what you like.